Tensions between Iran and the United States have reached a boiling point, a culmination of years of escalating disagreements and mistrust. The situation is incredibly delicate, with the potential for miscalculation on either side leading to disastrous outcomes. This spike in tension follows a series of U.S. airstrikes, purportedly targeting Iranian-backed militia groups, but which Tehran views as a direct act of aggression. Adding fuel to the fire, reports suggest that some of these strikes may have inadvertently, or perhaps intentionally, hit Iranian nuclear sites. This has raised serious concerns about the potential for nuclear proliferation and further destabilization of the region. In response, Iran vows a crushing response, promising retaliation for what it perceives as an unprovoked attack on its sovereignty and national security. Iranian officials are vehemently condemning the attacks, calling the attacks state terrorism and accusing the U.S. of blatant disregard for international law and norms. The rhetoric is becoming increasingly heated, making de-escalation all the more challenging. Adding another layer of complexity, former President Trump's long-standing call for regime change in Iran continues to resonate, further inflaming tensions. This rhetoric has fueled Iranian hardliners, strengthening their position and making it more difficult for moderate voices to advocate for dialogue and compromise. The current climate has made diplomacy even harder, with both sides seemingly entrenched in their positions and unwilling to make concessions. The window for negotiation appears to be rapidly closing. The world watches with bated breath as the situation unfolds, fearing a regional war with global consequences that could destabilize the entire Middle East and potentially draw in other major powers. The stakes are incredibly high, and the need for de-escalation is paramount. The U.S. strike was a display of stealth and precision. B-2 bombers, aided by decoys and electronic warfare, penetrated Iranian airspace undetected. Their bunker-buster bombs targeted fortified nuclear sites, sending a clear message: nowhere is out of reach. It was as much psychological warfare as military might. In Damascus, a suicide bombing at a historic church killed 22, targeting Syria's Christian minority. The attack underscores the persistent threat of extremist violence, even as the civil war quiets. Global leaders condemn the attack, but for families, the loss is deeply personal. On a different stage, Carlos Alcaraz is dominating tennis. The 21-year-old Spaniard is the favorite for a third straight Wimbledon title, dazzling with power and poise. His all-surface game and relentless energy have legends calling this a new era. The question now, how many Grand Slams will he win? The world holds its breath, a collective anticipation hanging heavy in the air. Every nation watches, every leader strategizes, as the implications of recent events ripple outwards. The stakes are monumental, the potential consequences far-reaching for Iran's response. The question isn't if, but how, when, and where. Will it be a measured riposte, carefully calibrated to send a message without igniting further escalation? Or will it be a bold, decisive action, signaling a new era of regional assertiveness? The world awaits the answer. Intelligence agencies are on high alert, their networks humming with activity, sifting through data, analyzing potential threats, and attempting to predict the unpredictable. Every signal, every whisper, is scrutinized for clues, bracing for retaliation, be it military, a direct confrontation, a show of force designed to deter further action, proxy, leveraging regional allies and non-state actors to exert influence and apply pressure, or cyber, a silent war waged in the digital realm, targeting critical infrastructure and sensitive data. Ongoing missile exchanges with Israel, a dangerous dance of escalation that threatens to spiral out of control. Each launch, each interception, brings the region closer to the brink. Risk spiraling into wider conflict, a conflagration that could engulf the entire Middle East, drawing in global powers and redrawing the map of the region. Oil markets, sensitive to geopolitical instability, are already experiencing turbulence, and airlines facing rerouted flight paths and heightened security concerns are bracing for potential disruptions, are already reacting, with investors and analysts scrambling to assess the potential economic fallout, underscoring the global stakes. The interconnectedness of the modern world means that a crisis in one region can quickly reverberate across the globe. The next 48 hours, a critical window of opportunity for de-escalation and diplomacy, could reshape international security, determining whether the world veers towards greater instability or finds a path back to peace. The world watches, waits, and hopes. Amid the crisis, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney calls for restraint and urgent diplomacy. Canada coordinates with G7 allies, urging dialogue over escalation. Ottawa is focused on protecting Canadians in the region, updating travel advisories and offering consular help. The message: diplomacy first, but safety is paramount. Closer to home, we face similar challenges to those in other developed nations, particularly when it comes to housing affordability and accessibility. The question then becomes, can Canada learn from the successes and indeed the failures of other countries, specifically those in Europe, to address our own pressing issues? Canada's housing crisis has become a defining issue of our time. It's a complex problem with deep roots, impacting nearly every corner of the country. This crisis is squeezing families nationwide, forcing difficult choices and impacting overall quality of life. The dream of homeownership is slipping further out of reach for many, and even renting has become an unbearable burden for a significant portion of the population. Experts point to Vienna's social housing model, a system that has been lauded for its success in providing affordable and high-quality housing to a large segment of the population. This model operates on the principle of treating homes as a right, not merely a commodity to be bought and sold on the open market. It's a fundamental shift in perspective. This approach offers a possible solution, or at least a framework for a solution, to Canada's housing woes. It's about creating a system where housing is accessible and affordable for everyone, regardless of income. Adopting such a model would require bold investment, a significant commitment of public funds to build and maintain social housing. It also demands a shift in mindset, a willingness to prioritize social good over pure market forces. It means rethinking our approach to urban planning and development. As prices soar to unprecedented levels, pushing homeownership further out of reach for many Canadians, the debate over Canada's housing future is more urgent than ever. We must explore all viable options, including learning from international examples, to ensure a more equitable and sustainable housing system for all. That's your global briefing. 7 stories, 1 world. Which story matters most to you? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. Staying informed empowers us all. I'm Radha Kanha. Stay safe, and see you next time.